Now on CoastTV News.
Lifting weights in Rehoboth Beach, how one business is showing their respect for Corporal Matthew Ty Snook. Rescue training, one local team tried out a unique way to strengthen life-saving skills. Tariff threat, people protesting in Greenland as President Trump aims to take over the Arctic island.
We have accumulating snow on the way for Sunday. Starts out as rain, then changes to snow. I'll track it on FutureCast and have the updated snowfall potential coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
People lifting weights for a cause in Rehoboth Beach. Good evening, I'm Emma Aiken. Welcome to CoastTV News at 6. We begin tonight with the latest event honoring Corporal Matthew Ty Snook. The Rehoboth Beach Barbell Club held a fundraiser called Lift in Honor this morning for Corporal Snook. CoastTV News reporter Drew Bellinger shows us the business and the community that came out to show their support.
Strapping in and lifting weights to show support for a fallen Delaware State Trooper. Today was not a typical day at the Rehoboth Beach Barbell Club. It was a chance to pay respects to Corporal Matthew Ty Snook, who was shot and killed in the line of duty on December 23rd.
Do something, good for the family of Corporal Snook.
Organizer Will Harris says roughly 20 people came out.
Our event today was a great way for people to come in and, just have a positive outlet for whatever they were feeling regarding this, tragedy that happened in our community.
Harris says those signed up by showing proof of donation to the official fundraiser for Trooper Snook.
For some, today was just another opportunity to show up and show support, but for others, it was a lot more personal.
What a wonderful person he was.
Colonel William Crotty with the Delaware State Police was present.
That void, we're going to have the responsibility of filling that and making sure that we live his values as we move forward.
Crotty says seeing the fitness and wrestling community come together means a lot. Jax Norris came from Newcastle to show support.
I wish I got to lift with him. It would have been cool getting to lift with him.
Showing up to bench press and deadlift, both weights and people, all for a great cause. In Rehoboth Beach, Drew Bellinger, CoastTV News.
Corporal Snook was shot and killed at the Wilmington DMV while working an overtime shift there just days before Christmas. Delaware State Police provided a final investigation update Friday, saying, quote, detectives concluded this was a deliberate and targeted attack on law enforcement, end quote. Snook leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old daughter. We do have much more on this and on the shooting itself right now on CoastTV.com. In the back, the Blue event that was scheduled for tomorrow, January 18th at Hudson Fields in Milton was canceled due to the forecasted snow and extreme cold. The event was also to honor Trooper Snook. The video you see is from the event they did in Newark earlier this month. They say they are currently working to reschedule the event and will announce the new date as soon as it is confirmed. We are now taking a live look outside into Milford. Our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihe, joins us now. Bob, a little drizzly out there today, but we're looking at more than just rain for this weekend.
Absolutely. Good evening, Emma. We're looking at that rain and accumulating snow tomorrow. And today it started out mild around 50, and then it got kind of raw into the afternoon. We had drizzle and some light rain. You can see that on the radar replay, but we're beginning to dry things out now. But that's going to be temporary because off to the south and west, we're seeing moisture gathering. And here's a system we're watching to bring rain and snow tomorrow, now developing across the southeast U.S. And that will be tracking up the coast as we go into your Sunday, bringing us that rain and snow. Already a winter weather advisory, parts of the eastern shore back through Salisbury, Ocean Pines. You can see the void here from Sussex County into the eastern parts of the eastern shore. I think this will fill in. I think they will put us in a winter weather advisory as we are expecting accumulating snow and more of those winter weather advisories farther to the north. Too warm to snow right now. We've got 30s and low 40s out there, 42 in Millsboro, 43 in Lewis, 45 in Bethany Beach. So let's pick this up at midnight. It's cloudy. Temperatures are above freezing. I think we could see some rain developing by tomorrow morning, but temperatures well above freezing. And then as we get into the late morning and afternoon, here comes the rain snow line from northwest to southeast. And I think we're looking at accumulating snow as we go into the afternoon and sticking to the roads maybe as we go into the evening hours. But we're okay this evening with the cloudy skies, and then that cold rain develops very late tonight. I'll have much more on this storm, and I'll tell you just how much snow we could see out of the system coming up a little bit later on. Emma?
Bob, thank you. For anyone who doesn't have a place to go during this weather, DHSS has designated various warming centers across Sussex County. They will be open January 20th and the 21st from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It's important to note that these centers won't be open over the weekend or on Monday due to Martin Luther King Day. Code Purple at the Cape and the Community Resource Center in Rehoboth Beach will be open and operating at normal schedule. Switching gears, the town of Frankford is looking for residents to help shape its future. According to the town, openings are available on the Board of Adjustment and the Planning and Zoning Commission. These groups guide development, zoning, and growth across the town. No experience is required, just a commitment to the community. And if you're interested, residents should call the Frankford Town Hall. Delaware's sports community will come together tomorrow to honor the life and legacy of legendary local coach Randy Johnson. Johnson spent 66 years coaching athletes across the state, shaping not only championship teams, but countless lives. He recently led Carrville Academy's softball program to a 5th straight state title, capping a remarkable career. A memorial service will be held tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Carrville gym. The Sussex County Technical Rescue Team did a specialized training exercise today at Dogfish Head in Milton. You can see here crews practice a confined space rescue scenario, simulating a child falling into a mash bin during a tour. The drill involved live dispatch, incident command setup, and coordination with multiple agencies. Officials say the training helps improve response readiness skills and strengthens partnerships across the region. President Donald Trump is threatening to impose new tariffs on Denmark and other European countries unless there is a deal to purchase Greenland. The latest move comes as thousands of people in Greenland and Denmark protested the proposal for the U.S. to take over the Arctic island. Jen Sullivan reports on today's rallies and how the U.S. advances are spurring outrage.
Crowd shouting Greenland is for Greenlanders Saturday as people in Greenland express outrage over the U.S.'s recent threats to take over the Nordic island.
We are not for sale.
In the capital of Snook, thousands of people turned out, and similar protests were held in Denmark. Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark.
Greenland should be free and Greenland should be for the Greenlanders, not for the Americans.
For months, President Donald Trump has insisted the U.S. should control Greenland. Its far north location makes it ideal for missile early warning systems and monitoring vessels in the region.
We need Greenland for national security.
Saturday, the president ramping up his threats against countries opposing the U.S. acquiring Greenland, posting this on Truth Social, saying, quote, starting February 1st, several European countries will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June 1st, the tariff will be increased to 25%. Earlier in the week, Denmark and several other NATO countries sent troops to Greenland for exercises in an apparent signal of NATO opposition to the apparent threat of an American seizure of the Arctic landmass. Any American military move on Greenland could trigger Article 5 of the NATO treaty, which says an attack on one NATO territory is an attack on all. President Trump's threats are drawing criticism from both sides of the political aisle on Capitol Hill.
Basically severing this whole agreement and invading an ally, a democracy, it's immoral, it's wrong.
The thought of starting a war or invading a NATO ally is unthinkable.
It's also an unpopular opinion among Americans, according to a new CNN poll. The survey shows that 75% oppose the U.S. attempting to take control of Greenland. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
We are just getting started here on CoastTV News at 6. Coming up, protests in Iran, what the country's supreme leader has to say to America.
Here's a live look into Salisbury on the Tidal Health Cam, 42, and we'll be seeing those falling temperatures this evening, staying dry. Wet roads now, but they could be slushy and snow covered this time tomorrow. I'll have more on the incoming snow and accumulations a little bit later on.
But first, new regulation proposed for short-term rentals in Ocean City. We have that story, plus more news and local weather after the break.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
This week, the Ocean City Town Council pushed one option to a future work session that would regulate short-term rental licenses in residential areas and mobile home communities. The proposed rule would add a 10% cap on short-term rental licenses allowed in those areas, which means only 375 rental licenses would be allowed in an area that has around 3,750 homes. According to the Ocean City agenda, there are currently 341 licenses in residential areas and mobile home communities, which means if this rule were in place, there would only be 34 new rental licenses homeowners would have to fight over. And coming up next, Bob Trihey is in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center, tracking the rain and snow on the way for Sunday. He has your full forecast after this.
It appears another accumulating snow event is headed for Del Mar. We've seen a couple of 1 to 2 inch snowfalls this season, and I think we're going to see similar conditions tomorrow. Now, here's the Sunday scenario. We're going to see a cold rain through the morning hours, and then some snow moves in from the northwest, moving northwest to southeast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s, so above freezing, nothing in the way of ice. And then Sunday afternoon and evening, that rain changes to snow, sticking to grass, metal, and wood objects. And as temperatures get close to freezing tomorrow evening, that's when that snow could be sticking to the roads. Now, ahead of it today, it was mild. 48 Georgetown, 52 in Ocean City, with 50 in Salisbury, but it has now dropped into the low to mid 40s across much of the area. Around 38 in Seaford, however, and 30 stretching back into the Milford area. As we had a little bit of that drizzle and light rain earlier on with the system that moved through, we had some snow well to the north. Now it's drying out temporarily, but then we're seeing moisture gathering off to the south and west as we're watching low pressure developing across the southeast. This will track up the east coast and then give us that rain transitioning to snow. And then behind this system, it is another blast of Arctic air that is poised to move in for the early part of next week. Here's Futurecast through the overnight hours. We'll pick it up at 1 a.m. and you can see the cold rain building in. By Sunday morning, we're in the 30s and low 40s. So plenty warm for the rain, nothing in the way of slick roads. I think we continue with the rain through much of the morning hours, and temperatures on this particular model are in the 40s, and then we're going to see the colder air getting entrained into the system. So by noon, maybe northwest Sussex County starting to see some snow. Seaford back through Ellendale, while it's still raining ahead of it, back through the coastal plain, back through Millsboro and Berlin. Then that rain snow line from Lewis back through Millsboro, Del Mar, and Salisbury, as we're seeing some of this rain coming down moderate at times. And then the coast will be the last to change over to the snow, but we will see that as we go into the middle part of the afternoon and temperatures in the mid 30s. Some of that snow will be moderate into the evening hours, and then as temperatures get near freezing, that snow could start sticking to the roads. Slushy conditions at that time, and then it clears out and it gets really cold as we go into early next week. Here's the bigger view, that rain changing to snow, and as that low comes up the coast, we're going to see that snow blowing up over the top of us as we go into Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening from Delmarva up into New Jersey and New York, where they could see a few inches, but for us, I'm thinking about 1 to 2 inches as the system clears out. And here is the snow amounts that I'm thinking. Now, I have beat this up a little bit, around 1 to 2 from Lewis to Georgetown, Seaford, and Del Mar, but right along the immediate coast where you're last to change over to the snow, about a coating to an inch from Ocean View down to Chincoteague, and then Salisbury over to Bucktown and much of the eastern shore, about 1 to 2 inches of very wet snow. Then that freezes solid because it gets really cold Monday through Wednesday, 20s and 30s for highs, wind chills in the single digits and teens. We're feeling like teens Monday morning, and then by Tuesday morning, feeling like single digits with actual temperatures in the 20s and 30s. And then by next weekend, maybe another shot of rain and snow. Looks like kind of an active weekend pattern setting up. 34 tonight with the rain developing late. Then that rain changes to snow tomorrow, 38, about an inch or two of snow. And then your Paul Davis 7-day forecast. MLK Day 39, mid-teens for lows. Tuesday and Wednesday morning, only 28 Tuesday, coldest day of the year. A little milder for the end of the week, then that rain and snow into Saturday. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
On your screen now is Route 1 between Best Lane and Janus Road in Lewis. DelDOT says this is the area that will see lane closures starting this Monday, January 19th, for about a month from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is for widening, grading, and shifting a temporary barrier related to the Minos-Conway Road grade-separated intersection project. Several organizations across Delmarva are making Martin Luther King Jr. Day with events focused on reflection and service. Delaware State University will host its annual MLK Day celebration Monday at noon on campus in Dover. The Food Bank of Delaware will hold a day of service packing meal kits for children in Milford. Plus, Salisbury University will also hold an MLK Day of Service on Tuesday, bringing volunteers together to support local teachers through community service projects. Coast TV News at 6 returns after this. Iran's supreme leader says Iran has defeated America and rounded up key leaders behind recent massive protests. In a public address, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said President Trump personally encouraged the unrest, calling him a criminal and blaming him for the casualties and damage. Those in attendance chanted "Death to America." For the first time, Khamenei acknowledged that thousands of people have died in the protests. The human rights activists' news agency says the crackdown on Iranian protesters has left more than 3,000 dead.
We've got a messy Sunday on the way. That rain developing around sunrise, cold rain through the morning, changing to snow into the afternoon, and probably sticking to the roads in the evening hours. Around 1 to 2 inches expected, with a coating to an inch at the coast. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. It is a code yellow tomorrow for accumulating snow. Be careful out there. MLK Day 39, coldest day of the year on Tuesday, 28. Warms up a little bit through the week, then another chance for rain and snow Saturday, and maybe again into the following week as temperatures plummet once again, Emma. No end of winter in sight.
Oh, wow, Bob. Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Be sure to join us tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.